Hey guys, we are about to find out some answers, but please, if you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, go back and watch them first. No one likes spoilers. Also, if you would like to have all the parts put together for each episode, please tell me in the comments. Alright, let's get into it. The Last Ember, Episode 1, Part 3, Awakening. The silence in the room was heavy, thick with the scent of ozone and sweet musk. Blair and I stared at the door, then at each other. My heart hammered against my ribs like a trapped bird. "Don't answer it," Blair whispered, her voice a low vibration with control that seemed to hum right through my skin. Nothing about me felt right. My body buzzed with energy, like something inside me had been switched on and didn't know how to turn off. My skin felt too sensitive, every breath too deep, every sound too sharp. At the same time, my limbs felt heavy, like I was carrying something I couldn't see. Before I could make sense of it, Blair spoke again. "It's the woman from the alley." Everything inside me went still. The memory hit me like a physical blow. The cold brick, the sharp sting in my neck, and then that terrifying, euphoric hunger that had surged up inside me to meet hers. "What?" I turned to her fully. "How do you know that?" "Blair, what is going on?" A knock. Firm, deliberate. The sound echoed in the small space, demanding entry. I pushed myself upright, my knees wobbling unsteady but determined. I put on clothes and started toward the door. I felt a desperate, irrational need to see her again. Blair's hand shot out, catching my wrist. The contact sent a jolt of static electricity up my arm. "Don't answer it." "Please," Blair pleaded, her composure fracturing. "I need you to trust me." I looked into her eyes. There was something raw there. Not fear for herself, fear for me. "Then tell me why," I said, my voice sharper now. "I need answers. I'm tired of not understanding anything. I'm drowning in questions, Blair. I need a lifeline, not more secrets." She hesitated, just for a second. But it was enough. I slipped my hand gently free. Another knock. Closer now, waiting. I took a slow breath, steadied myself, and opened the door. She stood there like she had been expecting me. Still, composed, watching. The woman from the alley. She looked exactly as she had in the darkness, yet more predatory in the hall light. Her skin was the color of moonlight on marble. Her eyes looked like light gray bottomless pits that locked on mine. And the second I really looked at her, something inside me shifted. Heat curled low in my stomach, sudden and disorienting. My pulse stuttered, then quickened, my body leaning forward before I could stop it. I knew her, not just from the alley. Something deeper than that. My throat felt dry. And for a split second, I wanted her closer. The thought hit me like a shock, and I pulled back from it immediately. No, that wasn't right. I glanced back at Blair, confusion flooding my expression, then turned back to the woman. "Can I help you?" I managed, though my pulse was deafening. "May I come in?" Ophelia asked. Her voice was like velvet over shattered glass. Her lips curved slightly. "No." Blair's voice cut in instantly as she stepped up behind me, her presence a wall of heat. "Raven, don't invite her in." I frowned, looking between them. "Why? What do you mean?" Blair moved closer, her presence warm and solid at my back. "Look at me," she said quietly. I did. "There's a lot you don't know yet, but this matters. She cannot come in unless you allow it." I looked at them. "What do you mean?" Blair took my hand, her palm burning against mine. "Raven, look at me. There's so much to explain, and I swear I will tell you everything I can." The woman cuts in. I would prefer not to have this conversation from the hallway and to not just stand out here while you two play house, she said, her lips curling in boredom. The arrogance of it sparked something hot in my gut. I stepped closer to her. My confusion was replaced by a sudden, jagged irritation. You show up at my home and act like I'm the inconvenience? You have some nerve after what happened in the alley. I felt a surge of power, a dark, honey-like warmth pool in my stomach. You can stand there or you can leave, but you will not be disrespectful in my house, I continued. But don't mistake my confusion for weakness. Ophelia's eyes widened slightly and flickered interest, her nostrils flaring as if she were catching a scent she couldn't identify but was the same as the bar. Silence stretched between us. Then I turned back to Blair. Why can't I let her in? I asked, voice sharp. Blair didn't look at me. Her gaze stayed locked on Ophelia. She's a vampire, she said flatly. She can't enter unless invited. Ophelia flashed a half-smile, revealing the tips of elongated canines. You've got a lot of room to talk, dog, she laughed. My head snapped between them. What the hell are you two talking about? Neither answered. My chest tightened. Blair, I said more quietly. Stay close. Then, despite everything, I pointed at the woman. Come in. The moment Ophelia stepped across the threshold, the air changed and the temperature dropped. Blair moved instantly, placing herself in front of me. Protective, rigid, territorial. The intensity of it sent unexpected warmth through me. Down, dog, Ophelia said lazily, gliding into the room with lethal grace. I'm not here to hurt her. Though I am curious why a human has you acting like a common guard dog. Blair didn't move. You know she isn't human, Blair said, her voice dropping into a guttural, clinical growl. If she were, your feeding would have left her a corpse in the gutter. Instead, she's standing here. My breath caught. I reached out, placing a hand on Blair's shoulder. The muscles were as hard as rock. Okay, ladies. Let's measure who has the bigger one later. The contact softened her just slightly. Okay, I said, exhaling slowly. Both of you sit, please. Surprisingly, they obeyed. Blair sat beside me, her hand instantly finding mine, her thumb stroking my knuckles in a rhythmic, grounding motion. The moment our skin touched, a faint spark ran through me, gone in an instant, but not unnoticed. Ophelia saw it. Her eyes narrowed slightly. She sat opposite of us, her eyes darting between our joined hands with a look of intense fascination. Sitting between them felt wrong, or maybe too right. I couldn't tell. Ophelia across from me, watching, waiting. Blair beside me, tense, steady, and me caught between them. My skin felt too tight, too aware. Every shift in the air, every glance. Every breath felt amplified, drawn to one, then the other. Back and forth like something inside me couldn't decide or didn't want to. Blair's warmth grounded me, steadying the chaos just enough to think. But my eyes kept drifting back to Ophelia. And every time they did, that heat flickered again. Okay, I really need answers. Blair, you first. If I revoke her invite, does she have to leave? Instantly, Blair snapped. Thanks, Blair. Now, I need the two of you to start speaking. I don't care who goes first, but someone needs to talk. Silence lingered for a moment. Then Blair turned slightly toward me. What do you want to know? I held her gaze. What are you? Blair took a long, shuddering breath. I am a werewolf of the amorous crescent line, the alpha queen of the Northeast. My bloodline is ancient, one of the first 7. We can shift at will, partially or fully. What happened earlier, she continued. When you touched me, that shouldn't have happened. I didn't choose to shift. You pulled it out of me. That shouldn't be possible. Her eyes searched mine. You triggered it. She added quietly. A chill ran through me. The words should have sounded insane, but they didn't. Not anymore. She continued. What I told you earlier was true, but I did leave out another reason why I came here today. And what's that? I asked. So, yesterday when you came running out of the alley, I didn't just happen to be there. Blair said softly. Wait, what? Were you following me? I asked. No, it's not like that. I wasn't far from the bar when a strong energy pulse drew me to your location. When I got there, you ran into me and I wasn't sure that the energy came from you. Because I knew there was another powerful person other than myself gesturing at Ophelia. I could smell her and sense her power. Then, today I felt it again, just not as intense. I did recognize you and I did see you move in. So I stopped by to make sure you were okay. You seemed completely freaked out after the alley. That's why I didn't bring up the energy that I could feel, and that was calling me. You didn't seem to know about it or me. I turned to Ophelia. And you? She leaned back slightly, studying me. Ophelia Darkmoor, she said, her voice dripping with the weight of centuries. And I am very old. And how old would that be? I asked. I am 327 years old and was born in Scotland in 1673. I died in 1698 at 25 in a dying colony in Panama. I chose a dark life over a painful death. I am a vampire queen that still enjoys the hunt for prey, instead of the volunteers my court has. She leaned forward, her eyes locking onto mine. My stomach dropped, her gaze sharpened. So you just picked me out and what? Fed on me? In the bar, I chose you because of your smell. It was alluring, and you were alone. A flicker of something darker passed through her expression. I lost control in the alley. Normally, I don't feed on people that long. I haven't fed like that in centuries, not since I was a newborn. I would have drained you dry, but something stopped me. Something in you bit back. Her voice lowered slightly. Your blood called to me. Something deep inside me twisted. That warmth again. That pull. You should have died, she said. And then a slight pause. But you didn't, she said low. Her eyes locked onto mine. What did you do to me? Ophelia asked. I don't know what I am, I whispered, the weight of their words crushing me. Because I didn't. I told them about my boyfriend 7 years ago, the memory gap, the sleeping boy I left behind. I thought it was nothing. A lie, I told myself. Then last night, the alley, and now, I swallowed hard. There's something inside me, I said, pressing my hand to my chest. And it feels, I hesitated, hungry. A warmth that felt like it wanted to swallow everything, but I don't understand it. I finished. Blair's grip tightened slightly around my hand. Is that what happened earlier? She asked softly. I nodded. I was struggling, not even being able to sleep. As soon as I closed my eyes, the dreams just flooded in and warmth spread. Even taking a shower was hard. Then you were here. Close, talking to me, and the feeling of hunger overwhelmed me again. But it wasn't the same, I said. With you, it felt different. I've been craving your touch, I admitted, my face flushing. Both of you. I can't stop thinking about you both. The words slipped out before I could stop them. Silence, heavy, charged. Everything I thought I knew was a lie. My parents aren't my parents, my body isn't my own, so tell me, what am I? And why didn't you pass out when I touched you? The silence returned. Blair and Ophelia exchanged a look of rare, mutual confusion. I don't know, Blair admitted, but I'm not leaving you. I can't leave you. At least not for long. What do you mean you can't leave Blair? I asked. Blair started to speak, but before she could say anything, Ophelia let out a bark of dry laughter. Oh, please. Tell me, Mutt, is this what I think it is? Blair looked at me then. Earlier when I touched your muzzle, that spark connected us, Blair said. And Blair knew exactly what that spark earlier had been. It was something ancient, something faded. But as she squeezed my hand, she kept the truth locked behind her teeth. Ophelia watched us both. Then she smiled. Slow, knowing. Well, she said, that explains quite a bit. Blair's voice dropped into a warning. Don't. Tell me, Volf, are you bonded to her? Blair went completely still. Leave it alone, Ophelia laughed softly. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I didn't know you could bond with other species. A human at that. Shut up, corpse. Say another word. Blair growled, her eyes glowing silver. She isn't human. You and I both know it. You're old as dirt. Have you ever seen anything like her? No, Ophelia said, her playfulness vanishing. Never. Ophelia stood up, her movements fluid and haunting. I will go to my library. Perhaps the records of the Darkmoor line have mentioned a creature that feeds on the feeders. She looked at me, a strange predatory spark of affection in her eyes. I'm very curious about what you are, Raven. She paused at the door, glancing back at me. Something flickered in her gaze. Not hunger. Something deeper. I will see you soon, little spark. As the door clicked shut, the tension in the room snapped. I sat back, exhausted, still holding Blair's hand. Ophelia was gone. Silence filled the apartment, heavy, unfinished. I stared at the door longer than I should have, waiting for what I didn't know. A part of me, a quiet, unsettling part. I missed her. The realization made my stomach twist. That didn't make sense. None of this made sense. I turned back to Blair, and the moment I met her eyes, that pull snapped back into place. Stronger, different, but just as intense. I exhaled slowly, pressing my hand to my chest. What is wrong with me? Blair didn't answer right away. She just looked at me carefully, like she was seeing something she didn't fully understand but wasn't afraid of it. I don't know, she said finally, but we're going to figure it out. I'll call my pack historian, Blair said, her voice softening as she turned back to me, though the tension stayed in her shoulders. We'll figure this out, Raven. I'm not leaving you. I stilled. Then something else hit me. I realized then that the hunger, the constant ache that had been clawing at me since the alley was gone, completely. I hadn't eaten, not anything. And yet I felt full, satisfied, completely sated. My breath caught. I looked at Blair again, at the way she stayed close without hesitation, at the way her body angled toward mine like it was instinct, at the restraint in her eyes. And something deep inside me shifted again, not hunger, something else. Something stronger, more dangerous. Nothing was the same. And somehow I knew it would never be again. Wow, the tension between Blair and Ophelia is high, but will they be able to put that aside to help Raven figure out what she is? Why is the hunger gone? What's really going on with Blair and the love triangle?